of the decks. I do think he, like you said, he will struggle to get a win through with his handlock, and I think his best chance will be against that Brute Demon Hunter.
Yeah.
But DreadEye's going to open with the Weapon Rogue, and Muzzy's got the Quest Shaman, which is not like the most atrocious matchup. I mean, Feral Spirits, you got to attack through them. You could just roll Taunt Totem at any point in the game, and that becomes a weird situation. But the problem for Quest Shaman becomes like the follow-up. This deck, especially the way that DreadEye's constructed it, it's the minionless version of the deck outside of Guild Trader. Swindle guarantees Guild Trader, then you can trade it back for the next Swindle. It's just got a ton of damage that doesn't even need weapon swings. If you're given enough time, eventually you're going to be able to just stick a Guild Trader on the board with Garrotes in your deck, draw a ton of cards, and then finish the game with Wicked Stabs and Sinister Strikes, and you don't even actually need to connect with the weapon that many times. So the goal here for Muzzy will most likely be to try and put enough pressure onto DreadEye to where he's not giving him all of the time in the world in order to, you know, piece together all the stuff. Or you can hope that there's no weapon draw, but DreadEye draws a weapon.
Yeah, and I like the description you just gave, because one of the main weakness of this deck, which is a really good bring this week, when you go through the decks that were brought and like the percentages against them, Weapon Rogue is just the best deck to bring this week overall. I think it just beats the meta. But its weakness is sometimes it doesn't draw the weapon, and obviously you've just said there that, you know, steps have been taken to mitigate that, but even so, they're quite slow steps, whereas just smacking someone in the face with a big heavy weapon and drawing a lot of cards, they're a lot more straightforward. I see putting some taunts in the way and getting the damage out there, though, so he is going to make it very difficult for DreadEye right from the start.
Yeah, but double Perpetual Flame in hand, that card is actually useless against this deck. And not like, oh, it's useless a lot of the time. No, it is actually useless. There is a single minion in the deck whose purpose is just to draw you another card from Swindle or kill you. There's not really any middle ground going on. So I think that Muzzy is, while he's got some pressure on the board, is not in the greatest position. DreadEye, though, does have to worry about this. He had a Coerce available in his mulligan, threw it away. I mean, I think that's a smart choice, but would really be missing it right now. But DreadEye can continue to build up this weapon, draw some cards. He can take off multiple sources of attacks from the board. And Muzzy has a whole lot of nothing in hand right now.
Yep, just a load of flames, kind of like my feedback when I cast. So, oh wow, he can get even more Perpetual Flames now if DreadEye walks into the trap and plays the Guild Trader. Otherwise, that's another awful pickup.
Yeah, I mean, he might just play it, just have another body on board.
I don't think so.
There's another Extortion in the deck, and then there's a Coerce, and those are literally... I guess Wicked Stab would do it now, because DreadEye's taking over to 5 mana. I mean, at this point, like, are you going to draw a spell off the top? Or would you rather have the damage? Taunt Totem's great. Taunt Totem's great. I mentioned it earlier.
Yeah, it is good. Because Muzzy has nothing and it doesn't put lethal on the board, I think holding the Note Taker is fine. Because he's just got no hand. If he can pick up a Lightning Bolt, suddenly that Note Taker does an extra 3 damage immediately. It could be a big deal. Or maybe he gets a Guidance and gets to do that twice and refills his hand. I think it's worth holding on to. If those flames were anything else, then sure, plop it out there.
Ooh, Coerce picked up. Very nice. I do wonder why DreadEye didn't go with the Paralytic Poison or the attack first, because he's almost always attacking that 2/3. And he would have had enough mana to Coerce and then get a Garrote as well.
Oh, Muzzy rewarded.
Oh, nice. Oh, nice. Still, though, Feral Spirits Taunt Totems are good, but DreadEye can kill one a turn without taking damage and will eventually just hit so much.
But that will give Muzzy plenty of time to start getting his own stuff together. And in the meantime, DreadEye is just going to be smashing his head into a brick wolf.
still
Portals.
gets there from 30, right?
Uh,
Like, oh,
Portal, another 3. Holding on to that.
yeah. Gets another 3/3 with taunt here too. This is outside of the perpetual flames. Muzzy's been drawing gas.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when they've got the worst 2 cards in your hand, you're entitled to draw something pretty decent. But yeah, he has drawn very well since then. Holding on to the note taker definitely helped a little bit. I mean, it may have survived anyway, but I think DreadEye would have taken it out.
I wonder if it's even worth it at this point to keep throwing burn into taunts.
Well, just you just want to keep hitting your face into the taunts and throw the burn at the face and hope you get there because you're running out of time?
Yeah, or like, yeah. Because he's kind of out of poisons. He has 1 deadly poison in hand, 1 deadly poison in deck, no silver leaves left, and 1 cutting class. So his ability... Oh, totemic reflection! Is the taunt totem still up? I think it is.
I've lost track, if I'm honest, but it'll come back. They always do. Yeah, it's there.
It's so good. Oh my goodness gracious. He's never attacking face again.
He hasn't attacked face yet, has he? In the whole game.
Muzz is at 30.
Just been chewing through taunts.
Yeah, see, this is kind of what I was talking about. Like, now he's just down wicked stabs. At some point, I felt like, the play might be shuffle Garrotes in deck, hold on to a big weapon, use Cloak to, buy yourself time, and then use Guild Trader, Sinister Strike, Wicked Stab with Garrotes pulled out of the deck with, a free cutting class to get there. Because now... DreadEye's never getting through these taunts, and he's also going to be taking damage in the interim to actually have to get there. I just don't think he gets there at this point.
I just want to point out that your plan sounds convoluted, but it's not. He's down to 5 cards left in deck. He's been drawing the cards all right. He's been surviving all right. So, yeah, there was definitely an option there. He did have to kill, obviously, anything that, the sloggers, just to stop the lifesteal, but apart from that, he could have gone for this.
Yeah, because if you can buy time until 10, right, and go, which I think he could have, and then at some point in the meantime, shuffle Garrotes into the deck. Guild Trader, Wicked Stab, Sinister Strike. That's 22 damage right there. And then the 2 Garrotes at any point in the game is 26. You just need 2 bleeds without spell damage at some point to get there. And
that's without spell damage, right?
Yeah. So,
and you can also finish with Guild Trader into some of your card draw and just 32 them in some worlds. You're never going to do that, but you could weave them in and get 1 or 2 at the end as well. So yeah, there's a lot of damage could have been done there.
Yeah, so he really had to think on the diligent note taker turn when he knew a second Feral Spirits was there. Okay, what's my game plan? And he chose just kill everything on the board, but now he's just out of damage. So he's not getting through these taunts. So let's say he goes Garrote, Sinister Strike, Cloak here. That's 7 damage to face with 12 damage worth of bleeds.
Wait.
That's 9.
Can he still do it?
No, he doesn't have Wicked Stabs, right?
But Guild Trader and 8 Garrotes, for instance, is 32. Has he got a card draw left?
Yeah, he does. He has a Swindle.
So he can go Guild Trader, Garrote, Swindle. That's 24? Because it's 28. Because it's 1 Garrote plus the 6 bleeds, if things go perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, he could still get there.
I mean, it's unlikely, I think.
He needs to not draw the... Well, he doesn't even need 28 because he's going to be drawing bleeds. It has to be... He needs it to not be Sinister Strike off the top. He would need it to be Swindle. Because he has a Sinister Strike and a Swindle as natural cards left in his deck. All right, his Swindle. So that's lethal?
But he's used 2 bleeds. 2 bleeds came off the top first. So he only has 1 bleed in the deck plus these 4. That's 5. 5 lots of 4 is 20. Sinister Strike is 23. The other Sinister Strike is 26. Has he got the mana for it? I think he has. I think.
Well, that's if he
double Sinister Strike.
Unless he hits Sinister Strike first, off of the swindle, it could stop the bleed.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Or if he gets 3 bleeds at all, he wins.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he won. Yeah, he won.
Okay.
Almost out of cards.
He still just gets there.
Oh my! And he must have known that. To be fair, that there was a chance.
There's always a chance. If you give him
So
enough
much
time,
easier though if you've got the stabs, right, TJ? It's so much easier if you've got the stabs. Maybe he took enough damage off the board to stop the repeating damage. Maybe he wasn't trying to get through. Maybe he was scared of the 2/3s getting enough damage there to cut down his time.
It's certainly possible, yeah. Like, at that point, he didn't know what the hand was. If the hand was any burn and he had taken an extra, even 2 damage at a certain point, he might have died, right? Or if he had to use his cloak 1 turn sooner, he doesn't make it to 10 and doesn't have the mana. So maybe he planned that out. It's impossible to tell if that's the most efficient way to do it, right? Because shuffling the Groats in earlier and then just hoping for 2 bleed draws at any point, and then going for the Guild Trader towards the end with like a cutting class might have been a more consistent play. But he obviously had a plan, and his plan worked out, even though there was...
I'm almost out of cards.
Even at the end there, that was like a...
Yeah.
If the Sinister Strike is... It was roughly a 50% chance for lethal. Because he needed 3 bleeds to be drawn and had 4 bleeds in the deck. He needed at least 3 to be drawn before the Sinister Strike was played, so it's actually less than 50%. Actually, what, like 66?
I don't know.
No, it's 20.
I'm not very good at numbers.
No, it's exactly 25%. Okay.
Okay.
It was a 25% chance for lethal there.
And he hit it.
Yeah, and he hit it.
On a Saturday. DreadEye on a Saturday is a thing.
Yeah. I mean...
Yeah.
The Weapon Rogue is really not the deck that I think he would struggle to find a win with anyway, right?
Right, yeah.
But you can lose bad matchups with Weapon Rogue occasionally if you just don't draw your weapon. So just getting it out of the way is a very good thing. And now we move on to Quest Mage. And I feel like this is a deck that is going in line with DreadEye's plan to target Handlock. Even though there's a Magtheridon in there, which I think against Handlock is a tech specifically against Handlock. Against most other decks, Fire Sale will just clear the board anyway. But against Handlock specifically, if you're missing your freeze or need to deal with 1 more wave of threats and don't have freeze, Magtheridon plus Fire Sale at any point is good. You can also throw it out early and just take the 3 damage or whatever it is, and then even if you're just killing off the 1/3s one at a time, you're still ruining the Raise Dead pool for the Warlock. So there's a lot of upside. They have no way to transform those minions into something else in order to stop the Magtheridon going. Oh, and it's a 12/12.
Yeah, and also you don't have to mess around shooting your own minions, which is kind of pleasant as well.
Yeah.
Because that's always irritating. You make a minion and you blow up your own minion. Like, just in general terms, mages blowing up their own minions just doesn't seem efficient. But blowing up minions that you've given your opponent somehow seems more efficient, even though it's the exact same result with no minions on the board. And it's a 12/12. Which is big.
This, however, is not Handlock. This is Quest Shaman, which is another good matchup for the Quest Mage. Again, Quest Shaman just doesn't quite go fast enough. And they're oftentimes playing a bunch of mediocre minions in the early game, which is exactly what Mage wants. They want to just have an excuse to play their targeted spells, specifically their frost spells, without taking too much pressure. And Shaman gives them that for free.
Right, absolutely. Shaman doesn't really assert pressure properly. I don't know. 2/3s, they pressure. They're not until they are. Right? They're There's no pressure from a 2-3, but when there's 5 of them and they don't get like AoE'd, then suddenly that's a lot of damage. It's a very weird deck. Double Vivid Spores shows where Muzzy's at though. Listening to Sottle too much.
Spores is good though. Just not.
So have you.
Not
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, they're one of those cards. They're good to take, but they're not necessarily good in your main deck.
Yeah.
Such cards have existed throughout Hearthstone time.
Nature waits for no one but me.
Okay, sure. Still needs a lot of mana to even be able to play all this stuff.
Yeah. You kind of get time against Mage. The Mage is like the metronome of the format. It just ticks away. You know how long it's going to take. It's going to go 8 ticks and then you're going to die. So you've got to beat it in 7 ticks or slow it down. And you can't slow it down because it's ignoring you. But it's 8 ticks. That's how long you've got to do 30 damage to the Mage before 8 ticks down to 0 and your face explodes.
Flames on the side.
Knowing Cannersville makes it a little easier. But at some point they're going to find it.
Right, yeah. It's not quite how it was in the olden days, where Incanter's Flow on 2 just won the game. They're playing pretty quickly.
Yeah. But that's always the case.
Yeah. Right, how's Muzzy going to activate these spores, TJ? He's got to get the Feral Splits, get some AoE, to get some white board to stick, and he's really got to get it to stick twice if he gets AoE'd. And we can see he might have to actually get a board to stick 3 times, which is mightily inconvenient when you don't really have 3 boards worth of stuff as a shaman.
Yeah. He's getting some good progress on the quest, but DreadEye just, it feels like he has the answers each and every way. Actually doesn't even need to fire sale here.
Which is nice because it's a tradable card, so if he can get away with not using it later on, that might come in handy. 1 mana, get something else. He's preserving that. Now he's got a flow going as well, and suddenly, Muzzy's lack of pressure is really telling. DreadEye's getting to put together all the pieces that he needs.
Yeah.
And at some point soon, Muzz might have to panic a little bit and just dump everything. I guess he's thinking about playing the Vivid Spores now, but I don't know if that's...
I think he wants to get the Brucon down.
True.
So he could Lightning Bolt, and then would be overloaded for 2, would have 5 mana to play Brucon next turn. And then he would unlock it 8 the following turn, so he could, like, charge call Vivid Spores or something along those lines for 9 costs.
Yep, maybe that sticks. That's fair. Yeah, charge call Vivid Spores. If it sticks, like if he gets to do it, because it does stick, you're not getting rid of that lot, probably wins the game. So it is a race now to kill Muzz before he does that.
Yeah. Going to be a little bit difficult, though, with a generated flurry. DreadEye now can complete the quest next turn. Brucon will be played, so he'll just be able to go Ignite right now, and then Flurry next turn, play Dawn Grasp, and then have 2 mana to do whatever he wants. So Muzzy's clock has gone down considerably.
The elements unbound.
Yeah, and he's still... I mean, it's just an extra turn, right? He's going to get the amazing Charge Call Vivid Spores off next turn. That's going to be largely dealt with flurries. So he's going to have to miss a turn, basically, because he's not going to do 21 damage from hand. And then DreadEye's going to do his own Dawn Grasping, and then, as long as he's got the card draw, which he doesn't, but he does have a lot of damage actually naturally in hand, and now he's got a Spring Water, yeah, that will be pretty much over. Unless Muzz can get enough things on the board that he can dodge the flurry.
Ooh. Okay. Well, DreadEye is very confident that he can kill next turn.
Muzzy can't even deal with a 7/6 particularly. And in fact, he can't, right? He just can't deal with it. Rush minions, I guess.
Yeah.
Char
Or taunt.
Scourge.
Nope, reroll those.
And the cycle of life.
He can
is
get a runaway
reborn
Blackwing, but doesn't
anew.
hit it at all.
Guess you... Yeah, Muzzy's face says it all. The clown might be the pick just because it has taunt. But the clown is also
So
garbage.
easily dealt with. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was looking for Sleepy Dragon or Runaway Blackwing, I think.
Oh,
But
Clown Spores is okay. It's not that easy to deal with 3 clowns.
that's true.
I mean, Production's dealing with 2 clowns right now, and that's tough enough.
That's pretty unfortunate, though, to not hit Blackwing or Sleepy Dragon. I mean, that's even if he thinks he can survive from 26, which...
Yeah, good luck.
yeah, he's dead.
So much damage, right?
Oh, wait, there's a hot streak buff. Okay. Fireball is 9, and then Ignite, that is 6 plus 7, right? Because he's only played 1.
Okay, so that's 22.
Can he fit into Pexus Blast? No.
Interesting.
Alright, well, he's not dead.
Is the Blood Mage enough? It's not. Huh.
Wait, is the Blood Mage enough with the ping? One of these Ignites costs 2, one costs 1. Wait. Yeah, that was lethal. Blood Mage, 10 damage Fireball. 7 damage Ignite, 8 damage Ignite, ping.
25, 26. Yeah.
That's if...
Okay.
Yeah, that's 7, that's 6. Yeah, that was just... He just had lethal.
There's buttons everywhere. He's waving his arms around as if he's completely butchered this. Now, can Muzzy win it?
He can go Canal Slogger, Vivid Spores, and then attack twice with the Canal Slogger to heal for 12.
Okay. Anything better than that?
No.
Well,
Or scourge.
can he Dungeoneer into Lightning Bolt? Not enough.
Would that be
because of the?
lethal?
It would have been enough without the secret, right?
Well, yeah, there's 15. He's at 25. He would need 10 damage. So, no, I think he goes Canal Slogger, Vivid Spores.
Yeah, I agree.
And then heal for 12.
He's just working out if there's anything else, and then he'll do that.
Yeah, which 12 might not even be enough. So, the Ignited Hand is a base 1. That's 6. Plus a Pexus Blast is 8. That's 14 right there. Would need 8 more, which is just the Ignite in the deck. So he just needs to draw it. He has Fire Sale to trade away. Or just draws into it.
There's just draw the Ignite and put us out of our misery of trying to work it out. But that was... He's just double checking. I was confused there for a second, but he's just counting through. He's had a whole turn to work this out as well.
I mean... Oh no, that was a first Ignite. Okay, so it was 6. Yeah, so he did need the Blood Mage.
Got you.
But finds it in the end. Oh no, so it wasn't lethal last turn. It was 1 off.
Because he was 1 less or 2 less, whatever, than
Yeah,
expected. Oh, okay, that makes more sense now. Sorry, DreadEye.
yeah. So yeah, it was 7 plus 8, 15, plus 10, 25, plus a ping. No, it wasn't. Oh, no, it wasn't. It was 1 off, because the
was
first one was
6.
6. Yeah.
6, not 7. 6, not
Yeah,
7.
so it was a little bit off. Yeah. So with that information, I think he did the correct play. He looked upset about it, but
I mean, he didn't get half of the actions off as well that he could have done, I think. I think there were just things he could have done.
Yeah.
If you're not going to... So,
Yeah, he did everything good.
if you're not going for lethal, maybe there's better ways you can clear up the board and still leave lethal the next turn, for instance.
Well, he can't touch any of the minions, because he touches any of the minions, it doubles the power on board.
Sure. Fair.
I think he did everything he could. I think that was the best possible setup, considering he was off, because that was the one of those ignites was the first ignite, one of those was second one. So it was base 3, base 2, plus 4. So that's 7 plus 6. So it's 13 plus 10, 20, 24. So he was 2 damage off lethal that turn. There was no way he could fit in enough mana with a Pexus Blast as well at any point with spell damage. So he was like 3 damage off lethal with a Pexus Blast, 2 damage off lethal with Blood Mage Ping. He doesn't want to touch any minions because it doubles the power on board. And he got the Ice Barrier off, which was the important thing, right? Which cuts out the outs for lethal for Muzzy. So I think, upon further inspection, that was as good as DreadEye could have played that, given the scenario.
So you know what you need after a really complicated counting experience? Is some good old-fashioned can I draw a brute experience.
Some brutes! Yep.
Do that again?
Brutes. So
Sure,
awkward
different,
hand
but it'll do.
for DreadEye. He's got a Lion's Frenzy that's going to block Outcast from the left side once Crimson Sigil Runner's played, and picks up the Spectral Sight a turn early. So we'll have to find a way to outcast that if he wants it, which would be playing the 2 cards that he would draw next turn.
Yep.
It's a glide. Oh, nope. This'll work.
They will never catch
1, 2, 3.
Acrobatics. Acrobatics is enough. That's double brute.
Double brute action, turn 3. These guys aren't going down to the cellar one at a time. They've worked it out. They're coming all at once.
Your end comes now.
Muzzy nods with the Muzzy smile of, yeah, sometimes you just get bruted. And this is why this deck is so addictive. Because this is so much fun if you're the bruter, not the brutee.
Could you repeat that? I'll write that
It's a very
down.
short investment opportunity. The window for the opportunity is closing rapidly.
I mean, I guess Bloom's a reasonable draw, right?
I mean, sure. DreadEye's going to have a lion's, what is it, a friendly lion or something when you talk about it.
Yep.
Coming next turn.
He's just going to play more Spirit Jailers on board. 1, to just dump his hand, get closer to the Spectral Sight. And 2, this is actually not an insignificant amount of power. So Muzzy's going to have to... I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. They're not buffed. So he's taking like 2 less damage per turn. He's got Canal Slogger to deal with 1.
You say it's not the worst thing in the world. It's pretty worse.
I mean, it could have been 3 brutes. He could have had double
That would have
philosophy in outcast position. Like,
The brute vector.
yeah.
All right, well, the flame.
But that's a clear. He trades both of these 2 attack minions into 1 brute, lightning blooms, loggers, and then perpetual flame.
Yeah, it's clear.
See?
But the frenzy's gonna do quite a lot more damage. I guess there could be a taunt thrown in the way. Then this game might become a
Doesn't
Hearthstone
have second
game.
portion of the quest completion. He's still at least 2 turns away from Kurt, and his hand is not that great for actually complete. Well, no, his hand is fine for completing quests. He's got a sigil up. And this works out perfectly for Muzzy because that's first quest completion. So he actually gets all of these crystals back.
It's a crystal clear.
Yeah. And DreadEye needs some... He needs some brutes! ASAP!
Yeah, that's what this deck needs is more brutes. How many brutes would you put in the deck if you could play as many brutes as you wanted, TJ?
Still 2.
Just 2?
Yeah.
How many philosophies? Like 6?
Just 2. Because you need the draw or else you're never playing the brutes.
There's no way that 2 and 2 just happen by the rules of the game to be the magic number. No way. Not having it.
Okay, so he doesn't want to glide Muzzy. He actually can complete Kurtrus this turn.
Which is like your 5th brute, I guess.
Yeah, but he can't.
As well as all the good things.
This is a conscious decision to not outcast the glide.
Yeah. I'm not sure if that's... I agree with that or not, because Muzzy's used all the removal stuff. That tends to leave you with your aggressive stuff, like just as a rule of thumb.
Yeah.
I think I would have glidden Muzzy there if I had the choice. DreadEye's usually pretty spot on when he makes those choices, so I shall defer to the superior player.
Alright. So this is a tough decision for Muzzy. He can bloom out some charged calls. If he hits a 1-mana overload card, didn't hit it, then he could bloom like Bolt. Oh no, he wouldn't be able to play the charge calls after that. He played the... Okay. Because he knows that Kurtrus is coming down next turn, right? So...
Yes. Yeah. So...
I think he still has to bloom double call. Bloom at least
Double?
1 call to try and challenge.
Yeah. I like the portal, actually. Because he'll get the... he wants to get the next part of the quest done and maybe get a double call later, although there isn't much later.
The Earth Mother is near.
Ken.
My quest, my revenge, it all ends here!
King of the Brutes.
Alright.
Oh, buy some more time. It doesn't really, though, because there is Kane in the other hand, so DreadEye still has a chance, of course.
Yeah, he would need to find a glide, though, because he'd need to reset the crystals at some point.
Yep.
He has a lot of soul fragments in deck, so he's got plenty of damage to get there. He just has to go and make the right choices along the way. 7 mana is actually not that much, if you consider you need 2 for Kane and 1 for Lion's Frenzy. So, like, the amount of tradables that he hits, and he starts with Acrobatics, so that's 3 spoken for already. And he would need 2 for Glide as well. So, it's not lethal.
This turn, but he shouldn't die this turn for 29, so he can set it up for next turn.
He needs to, like, stop drawing, though. That's the problem. As soon as he realized that he wasn't going to be able to get lethal, he needs to stop. Because now he's going to run out of damage, because he doesn't have enough card draw left in the deck.
If only this deck played any removal, he'd be in such a good position.
Demons?
Yeah, like, as soon as he realized that he wasn't going to be able to get... In fact, as soon as that turn started, he needed to think about, is it even worth it to play Acrobatics on this turn?
Right.
Right? Because that's 3 of his mana already spoken for that draws 2 cards. Like, that turn may have been, as soon as I hit Lion's Frenzy, stop.
Yep.
Just play Lion's Frenzy. And that's it. Because now, he has 10 cards in the deck with a Glide and 5 cards in hand. So his max damage next turn with the Furies is like exactly... He still should be okay, actually.
Actually, he should, yeah, because you can also generate a Glide usually.
He won't need another Glide, because just the Furies. Because he hasn't used the Fury yet, right?
Just double check that comment. He has not used a Fury yet, I don't think. Our track is usually bad, but I haven't seen a Fury. Add on
So
Fury.
he's got double Fury left, so that's 6 right there. Plus, if he can get through most of his deck,
Call it another 6 or 7. It's more than that. It's much more than that, Neil.
yeah. So he does.
He's got the
have
Chaos
one-
Strikes as well. That's damage.
Yeah, but it's also mana, and he only has 1, and it's in hand. So if he draws it back, then yes, it's 3 attack. He should be okay. He should be okay. He's got 2 Soul Fragments as well. He's got an Illidari Studies. The double Tusk Piercer in the deck is awkward, because that's 2 cards, actually 3 cards with the Fury, 4 cards with a Brute, that if he draws, he can't use to draw again. But I think he's okay.
Yeah, he's just going to go through here.
Yep.
At some point, he'll get to the point where he can actually get rid of all the cards that keep coming into his hand and glide. Here we go. Fury's good, as long as he gets some more draw. Fragments really good.
I think he's got it.
That's a lot. He's got to hit the Cane, but I think he can get through the whole deck. Doesn't hit the Cane, he loses this game.
Ah, no, he's good. He's good. All right, so well done by DreadEye after he played the acrobatics to just sit back and stop, right? There's no reason to draw more cards. He realized that he wouldn't have enough to draw if he didn't get there. So I think he caught himself a little bit. He started to play really fast and then was like, okay, I need to just stop here. So nicely done, equipping the weapon as well, knowing that there's no punish to it, and then making sure that he had the mana available if he needed to like trade back a couple tradables to actually go for it. So nicely done. And even though Muzzy actually had a very good answer to the early Brutes, it set him back a lot. He wasn't able to put on pressure. He really wasn't able to do much of anything because he had to spend so much of his early turns just worrying about the Brutes. And that's the 2-pronged attack that Brute DH is known for.
Two-headed snakes all over the place.
And now DreadEye's 2-6 on Saturdays.
Yep, and we're going to see him on Sunday. He'd better set his alarm. He's probably not used to getting up early on a Sunday to play some Hearthstones. But he'll be here for the semi-finals tomorrow. And, I mean, apart from the fact it was 3-0, looking pretty good for it. Every time we sort of thought we'd found a hole in the play, it's like, no, actually, what he did made a lot of sense. So, good for him. Nice to see Muzzy again. But, honestly, overall, disappointed because DreadEye banned the Soul DH.
Yeah, but it made sense with this lineup.
It did make sense, but since when did sense matter?
Yeah. So overall, a pretty good series for DreadEye. The couple times that I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. He stopped himself and, you know, thought about his play and made the correct decision overall. So specifically in that Quest Mage game, a lot of players can kind of overreact at the board and just freak out and think they're dead. But he thought about